Today we're talking about one of the most important albums of the 1990s. It's an album that changed everything for female artists in rock music. I'm talking about Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. This album sold over 33 million copies worldwide. It made Alanis the first Canadian woman to hit #1 on the Billboard charts. But the real story isn't about the sales, it's about how one young woman's honesty changed music forever.
I'm poor, but I'm kind. I'm short, but I'm healthy.
So we're going back to the 90s, so let's talk about this. Before Alanis became the angry rock goddess we know, she was actually a teen pop star. Now, if you were in Canada, maybe you knew that, but this might be news for some people. She was born in Ottawa, Canada in 1974. Alanis started playing piano when she was just 6 years old. By age 9, she was writing her own songs. But here's something cool. She was also a child actor. If you remember that show, You Can't Do That on Television, 10-year-old Alanis was on it. I remember I used to watch this when I was a kid. I think it was on Nickelodeon back when we first had cable. I never actually realized who she was, but I used to watch a show. But she was on it, and she used the money from that show to record her first single. At 14, she got a record deal. She released 2 dance pop albums that sound nothing like we know who she is today. So her first album, Alanis, was actually pretty successful in Canada. She even won a Juno Award and was called the Debbie Gibson of Canada. And she even opened for Vanilla Ice. And it's kind of funny because you have this teen pop star opening for the crowd for Ice Ice Baby. But then something happened. Her second album, which is called Now This Is the Time, it didn't do as well. Her record label dropped her. Most artists would see this as a failure, but for Alanis, it was freedom. After high school, she was tired of being told what to sing and how to act. She moved to Toronto, then Los Angeles in 1994. She was 19 years old and ready to find her real voice. Little did she know, she was about to create one of the most important albums of all time. At this point in the story, Alanis is in Los Angeles. She meets a guy named Glenn Ballard. He's a big-time producer. He worked with Michael Jackson and a few other people. When they first met, something really clicked immediately. So within 15 to 30 minutes, they were already making music together in his home studio. Here's what made their progress so special. They decided to write and record one song every single day. They would work 12 to 16-hour days. Glenn would play guitar and keyboards, and Alanis sang and played harmonica. But here's the key. They kept everything raw. All of Alanis' vocals were recorded in just 1 or 2 takes. They didn't polish it up or make it perfect. They wanted to keep all the emotion in there. The album's title comes from a line in the song You Learn. It perfectly describes what they were making, something that was rough around the edges, real and powerful. They made the album without a big record company looking over their shoulders. No one was telling them what would sell or what radio would play. This freedom let them make exactly what they wanted. Then came time to find a record label. And as you would expect, almost everyone said no. Label after label passed on this album. Glenn Ballard even thought about releasing it independently. Finally, Madonna's label, Maverick Records, heard the song Perfect. An executive named Guy Oseary said it was unlike anything he'd ever heard. Within 2 days, Alanis had a record deal. Looking back, those rejections were actually a blessing. They proved that the music industry didn't know what people really wanted to hear. Let's talk about some of the songs that made this album legendary. I think the first one would be You Oughta Know. It's a song that introduced the world to the new Alanis. It's about being really, really angry at an ex-boyfriend who hurt her. It wasn't the sweet, sad breakup song you usually heard from female artists. This was pure rage, and it was amazing. The song even got better when two members of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea and Dave Navarro, added their parts. Flea played bass, Dave played guitar. They basically rewrote the music around Alanis' vocals and created something explosive. You Oughta Know won 2 Grammy Awards and became one of the most iconic songs of the 90s. It gave women permission to be angry in their music.
It's too late, and isn't it ironic?
Then there's Ironic. Here's a fun fact. The song was written in just 15 minutes. It lists a bunch of frustrating situations like rain on your wedding day or a traffic jam when you're already late. Now, people love to argue about whether these situations are actually ironic. Alanis herself admits she got the definition wrong and calls herself the malapropism queen, but it really doesn't matter. This song works. Because we all know those moments in life seem to be working against us. Another song, Hand in My Pocket. It's completely different, more laid back. It showed the softer side or another side of Alanis. Songs about accepting contradictions in yourself, being lost but hopeful, sad but laughing. It's about being okay with not having to figure everything out. And then there's Head Over Feet. It's a tender love song on the album. It's about being best friends with your romantic partner.
Choice, but to hear you stay.
Interestingly, this song might be the first use of the term friend with benefits in popular music.
Best friend with benefits.
What made these songs special wasn't just the music, it was Alanis' honesty. She wasn't trying to be perfect or polite. She's just being real about her feelings, whether it was rage, confusion, or love. When Jagged Little Pill came out on June 13, 1995, which is celebrating an anniversary, by the way, I forgot to mention, it was an instant hit. It went straight to #1 and stayed there, topped the charts in 13 different countries. And the numbers are just incredible. Over 33 million copies sold worldwide. It became the best-selling album by a female artist ever at the time. In the US alone, it went 16 times platinum. But it wasn't just about sales. Critics loved it too. They praised Alanis for talking about subjects that were usually taboo in mainstream music. Her honesty and powerful voice impressed everyone. At the 1996 Grammy Awards, Alanis won 4 Grammys in one night. She won Album of the Year, Best Rock Album, and 2 awards for You Oughta Know. She tied the record for most Grammys won by a woman in a single night.
Six-time Grammy nominee and winner of 2 Grammys already tonight, Alanis Morissette.
The success continued at the Juno Awards, which, if you didn't know, it's kind of like the Canadian Grammys. Also, she was at the Billboard Awards, the American Music Awards, and Rolling Stone magazine even put her on the cover, and they said it was one of the greatest albums of all time. But the real impact wasn't the awards, it was just how the album changed what people thought female artists could do. Before Jagged Little Pill, angry women in rock music were rare. Alanis proved that women can just be as raw and powerful as any male rocker, and people would love it. It opened doors for so many female artists. Without Alanis, we might not have had Pink or Avril Lavigne and many other strong female voices in rock music. After the album's success, Alanis went on an 18-month world tour. She played everywhere from small clubs to huge arenas. She even toured with Radiohead, which shows how respected she became in the alternative rock world. But Alanis didn't want to be stuck making the same music forever. Her next albums explored different sounds, trip-hop, world music, electronica. kept growing as an artist instead of just repeating what worked.
I am sometimes. You see everything.
The album's influence kept growing too. In 2018, Jagged Little Pill became a Broadway musical. It got great reviews and multiple Tony nominations, proving the songs still matter to new generations. Countless female artists have also said that Alanis inspired them. Katy Perry said the album was life-changing and made her want to write about her own experiences. I also mentioned Pink and Avril Lavigne, and they also credit Alanis with showing them it's okay to be angry and vulnerable in music. Alanis herself has been honest about how sudden fame affected her. She said it was lonely and overwhelming, but she's also grown as a person. She's a mother of 3 now and continues to make music and help others through advocacy work.
Happy for you. I
Jagged Little Pill did something amazing. It proved that being real and honest could make you a superstar. Alanis didn't have to be perfect or polite or fit into a neat category. She just had to be herself. The album changed what we expected from female rock artists in rock music. It showed that women could express the full range of human emotions: anger, love, confusion, strength, and audiences were hungry for that honesty. 30 years later, we're still talking about the album because those jagged truths Alanis sang about are still relevant. We all have moments of rage, confusion, and growth. Alanis had the courage to sing about them first. And that's the real legacy of Jagged Little Pill. Not just the sales of awards, but the permission it gave everyone to be authentically, messily, powerfully human. So what's your favorite song on the album? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about albums and all that good stuff. Check out this video right here. I'll put something related. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.